The Kamala joyride to the White House is hitting the skids. After riding a wave of coconut memes to the top of the ticket, Harris is quickly falling behind Trump in a slate of major national polls. One shows a dead heat with her previous 5-point lead evaporating. And on top of that grief, here's this beef. Tensions are said to be rising between the Biden and Harris campaigns. Team Kamala has been grumbling that Joe's White House aides aren't really syncing up Biden's messaging and schedule in a way that works for her campaign. So with time running out to turn things around, Kamala is accusing Donald Trump of hiding his health records, which is her area of expertise after acting as Joe's caretaker.
He's not being transparent with the voters. He's not being transparent. So check this out. He refuses to release his medical records. I've done it. He is unwilling to do a 60 Minutes interview. He is unwilling to meet for a second debate. It makes you wonder, why does his staff want him to hide away? Are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable to lead America?
Yeah, NBC's data guru boils the Kamala polling crash down to a simple premise. Who is helping you and who is hurting you?
We asked about President Biden's policies. Are they helping or hurting your family? Just a quarter of voters said they're helping. Nearly half said they're hurting. And then here's the interesting twist. We also asked folks, think back to when Donald Trump was president. Did his policies help or hurt your family? And look at the difference. 44% helping, 31% hurting. Trump's, the retrospective, you would say, opinion of Trump's presidency among voters, arguably higher now than when he was president.
So, Jesse, good to see you.
You too.
Thanks.
I don't mean that.
No, I know you don't.
I don't want to look at you anymore.
I don't want to look at you anymore.
The show's been too much.
Yeah, I know. But look, hey.
You guys, it's Monday.
We keep hearing about the October surprise. Is the October surprise the polling?
Could be. I thought it was the hurricanes, but the polling's a mess if you're a Democrat. If you're a Republican like myself, I told you so. Didn't say red wave, but I told you so. The polling and the betting markets are a disaster. Barack Obama is scolding black Americans. She's raised $1 billion and is losing. I think they're stealing her money because, you know, they get a cut when they do these ad buys on television. The media strategy, they've changed it. She's doing Bret Baier's show. I think Doug wants to be one lucky guy. He's trying to get booked on Outnumbered. And she shot the whole rationale for her candidacy right in the heart when she said that I wouldn't do anything differently. And now she's looking for ways to separate herself from Joe Biden. But she's such a machine politician, she doesn't know how to do that. She's always just said yes and gotten ahead. She's always agreed with the party boss and gotten promoted. And now she's the party boss. But she's still loyal to Joe because she knows she didn't earn it. And so she's scared because she's never had to make her own decision. And she's afraid of Biden because no one F's with a Biden. And any Democrats that's criticized Biden, look at Eric Adams. So she's nervous about criticizing him. Trump doesn't need to do anything more. What else does he have to prove? She's trying to bait him, and it looks desperate because she's down and she knows it. He's gotten 7 debates under his belt. I mean, they've raided his house. They've leaked his tax returns. What else do we need to see? Honestly, we've seen too much from Donald Trump. We know exactly what he's going to do and when he's going to do it. He's now wiser. He's not going to then agree to a debate that's just going to have no upside. He smells a trap. It's not worth it. And he already agreed to the Fox debate. He agreed to 2 debates. She said no to the Fox debate. And now she wants another one. Sorry, it's too late.
Yeah, I think you're right about that last clip. It was definitely baiting. It was like no one was taking that seriously. Harold, I think you were one of the first people to say that they needed to concentrate more on policy. And I think you're seeing TDS exhaustion. You can only set fire to people's hair for so long, and then suddenly they're all bald like Joy Reid. You can't keep telling people that Trump is evil. It doesn't mean anything.
Bald?
Yeah, now they're stuck with this non-policy, non-competent politician known as Kamala Harris. How does it feel, Harold? Pretty bad, doesn't it?
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
I hope everybody had a good weekend. I would say a couple of things. To your point about the debate, I think that President Trump is probably analyzing this in a way that says, I got beat the first time, or some people thought I got beat the first time. I'm gaining in the polls. What's the advantage to do, whether he won or lost, what's the advantage to doing another one? I've always said I think the country benefits. When you're running for president, you're running for the privilege to serve the country. But I get that rationale. Two, this race is tight. I would agree that it feels like over the last, I agree with Dana about how you look at this race after Labor Day. You look at day by day and
She
who wins
hasn't spoken
the day.
yet, Harold.
Yeah, I was just going to say, did I miss
That's a
it?
pre-agreement.
Yes.
But we've had this conversation before, and maybe Dana didn't say this, but I'm going to give her credit for it. You look at after Labor Day till Election Day, who wins the day? And I believe that whoever wins the most days from Labor Day to Election Day, media and so forth, they end up winning the election. And President Trump has had a run here over the last several days. I think it was smart of her to accept the invitation to come on Fox, and she's coming on our pal Brett Baer's show, who I know will be tough and fair with her, and will elicit answers around the border, will elicit answers around her changed positions on serious issues like border security and even like the economy and things that she would do differently. I think one of the things that Vice President Harris did not do well last week was her answer about what would you do differently over the last several years. I think to say nothing suggests that you're not anticipating different facts and circumstances. I don't think anything's wrong with saying over the last 4 years, we had facts come our way and we behaved with all of the data and we thought we did the best things. But going the next 4 years, I'll be the boss. I hope she's able to do some of that on the show with him. Finally, there's a challenge with base voters on both sides. I think that President Trump has made a decision to close here. He's going to go after his base. He's going to double down. And I think some of the language is a little dark for me. But I think it's going to excite his base. Remember, he's never gotten over 47% of the popular vote when he's run each time. He got 46.5 when he beat Hillary, and he got 46.7 of the overall vote when he lost to Biden. If he gets to 48, that could very well spell a win for him nationally. We'll see. I think she has decided that I'm going to try to fire my base up, and she's got a distinct challenge with black men right now. She's got to get a message that excites, animates, and motivates them in Detroit, in Atlanta, and Philadelphia specifically over the next 3 weeks. She does that, we're going to have a nail biter here again, and we'll have to see what happens.
All right. That was a half-hearted defense. Judge, so Kamala keeps saying, oh, she wants to separate herself from Joe. And then, of course, she gets accused of plagiarism, which, again, it puts her in sync with Joe.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, they're two peas from the same pot.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the one who was supporting him, saying, you know, everything is fine with his health. I mean, you don't have to worry about Joe. He's got more energy than all of us. But I think what's amazing is she says that it's time to turn the page. She said, I'm going to have a new way forward, and I'm not Joe Biden, but she is not smart enough. I got to tell you, Harold, how could you be running for president of the United States of America and not be smart enough to say, gee, I already said in one speech what I would do differently. Why can't I remember what I said in that speech to explain to the American people why I will be different? The woman she just doesn't have the wits about her in terms of politics, which makes sense because she didn't get one vote to be in this position. They threw Joe under the bus. And I got to tell you, I love the Axios article. I love this whole thing about the palace intrigue. You know, either Joe Biden is intentionally stepping on her or they're just not coordinating. And maybe they're not coordinating, according to the Axios article, because the Biden people are upset or because, you know, her people aren't giving the Biden people the respect that they deserve. But the truth is, all of a sudden, we see Joe Biden walking into the press room, interrupting Karine Jean-Pierre to say the longshoreman strike is, you know, it's over until January, when she's in Michigan about to take credit for it. And the thing that keeps happening with DeSantis, I work with DeSantis, he's great. And she's accusing DeSantis of not caring when things are at a terrible, terrible stage. But her hypocrisy, her inability to identify what the American people want to hear from a candidate for president is just stunning to me. She shouldn't be running for town council.
Why isn't Trump more ahead then? You asked me the question. Why do you think he's in a dead heat if what you're saying is
well,
right?
right now, Trump has made incredible strides. He's ahead in what, 6 of the last polls, when 2 weeks ago she was ahead because everybody came out with joy and hope thinking she's going to be great. Now they see the woman, you know, she's not that competent. And I'm saying one more thing, 60 Minutes, she has the gall to say Donald Trump should do 60 Minutes when they took one answer and switched it for another. I wouldn't do 60 Minutes either if I were Donald Trump. That's all.
In your face.
Yeah.
DP,
Yes.
shouldn't the tension really be between the party and the voters for not giving them the chance to have a primary?
Yeah.
I mean, this all comes down to the fact that Kamala was nobody's first, second, third, fourth, fifth choice. And so you have God love him, Harold Ford pretending to care about her. And
Yeah.
it's just sad to watch it, Harold. I was crying. But anyway, Dana, the question's for Dana.
There's a new book coming out tomorrow. I think it's by Jonathan Alter, in which he says...
you read it?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you did. I actually haven't. But I did read an article about it saying that it'll detail how even Nancy Pelosi didn't think she was the right one. But they realized with the time that they had to figure out a way to get behind, and so they decided to roll the dice with it. I would say this past weekend felt like that was when the dam started to break. She, in the media blitz that they had, cannot get a foothold on anything. So she's slipping, right? And then Tim Walz, every time he goes out, he steps on a rake.
God.
Or a shotgun.
Yeah, right. And the other flashpoint is that something Jesse said, which is the whole basis of this thing is that she wasn't going to be Joe Biden. But then what Bill McIntyre told NBC, she's asking for another term from the unpopular incumbent party. So I think that when she is throwing things out there, like you have to look at Trump's health, it is kind of craven because she still has not answered the question of when did you know that Joe Biden was not able to be the president for another 4 years, even if she thought he could get through this the rest of this year. So she's going to do an interview with Bret Baier on Wednesday. That's high stakes, but with high stakes, you sometimes get high rewards. It could go very well for her. If it doesn't, I think you will continue to see the beginnings of anonymous Democratic staffers, like we've seen on her camp in the past, saying, yeah, we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. All right. Excellent analysis from at least two of you.
Would you like to pre-agree with me?
Yes, I pre-agree with you. I love what you said in the next block, by the way.
Thank you.
Can I
Very
say
good.
that if she does win, can I say in your face to everybody?
Yes, you can. You've earned it.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.
Incumbent, incumbent. Craven, craven. Foothold, foothold. Rake, rake. Illicit, illicit. Wits, wits. Throw under the bus, throw under the bus. Intrigue, intrigue. Longshoreman, longshoreman. Nail biter, nail biter. Half-hearted, half-hearted. Gall, gall.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.